Am I the asshole I went with my friend to a restaurant that was originally reserved for me and my wife? Yesterday was my birthday. My 30M wife, 28F, and I had made reservations at this really nice Korean barbecue restaurant for dinner. My wife is 4 months pregnant. However, her friend wanted to hang out with her and had called her the night before my birthday. My wife said that this was a childhood friend of hers and that she really wanted to spend time with her. I reminded her that it's my birthday, but she just dismissed it, saying my birthday comes every year, but her friend will be leaving for Germany in a few weeks. I told her that she could go after my birthday as well, but she did not listen and just went to a sleepover at her friend's place. I got really mad at her, and instead of waiting for her to return home to talk things out, I asked my friend if he would like to hang out with me. He was fine with it, so we spent the day fishing, grilling, hiking, and went to the Korean barbecue for dinner. When she came home after spending time with her friend, she apologized to me, saying it was an unavoidable circumstance. I told her that it wasn't a problem and that I spent the day with my best friend. She got mad that I'd take him to the restaurant that we had booked for ourselves. I said that it was originally for us, but since she prioritized her friend over me, I took the person who prioritized me on my birthday. She said that I'm controlling and that I shouldn't be deciding who she spends time with. Now she's neither talking to me nor coming out of the room. I think I went too far by telling her whom she should be spending time with. Am I the asshole? But you didn't tell her she shouldn't spend time with her friend? You only asked that she not do it on that specific day? What is she talking about? Your wife is playing the victim here. She seems really immature and rude. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Seems to me she's actually the one being controlling. She doesn't prioritize you on your birthday, but then wants to say you shouldn't continue with your plans, with your friend in her place? She would have preferred you sitting at home waiting for her on your birthday? That's really not very nice. ETA. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this was a milestone birthday? That's not right. I'm confused. What did she expect you to do, sit at home and cry? Not the asshole. Your wife is the asshole. She didn't need to visit her friend that day, she didn't need to stay out all night and come in the next morning. That's weird. Not the asshole. This is a no-win situation. You can't hang out with her or your friend on your birthday? What were you supposed to do? Stare at the wall like a sim until she got home? Silly. I may be missing info, but it doesn't really sound like you told her who she should be spending time with at all. You two had made plans. She wanted to cancel, on your b-day no less, to hang with a friend. You provided ways she could do both, and she chose to do what she wanted. You chose to celebrate your birthday with someone who wanted to celebrate with you. There's nothing wrong with that. Like at all. She ditched you on your birthday, is now feeling shitty about, and is projecting her guilt on you so she doesn't feel as bad. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I would have told her, it was an unavoidable circumstance, and also, it's just one meal, it comes every year. Not the asshole. She declined your birthday dinner reservation, so you took a friend instead? What's the problem? Sounds like a fun birthday with your buddy though, happy belated. Not the asshole. Why would she be mad? She is the one who cancelled on you. Am I the asshole for telling my kids I'm not okay with calling their stepmom, mom? 2 years ago my husband left me for my best friend after 20 years of marriage, and they got married. As much as I loved my husband, his affair wasn't a surprise. My mill told me on our wedding day that men like him don't stay loyal to women like me. She was right. What hurt the most was the betrayal from my best friend. I loved this woman and considered her a sister. Since then I have gone NC from both of them. Any communication regarding the kids goes through a third party. If they are at an event, I don't go there. My kids know this and have respected this boundary. They know not to mention them to me. And we celebrate birthdays separately. The kids are now 16 female, 17 male, 17 female, 18 female, and 21 male. Recently when we were all at our house, 16 female asked me if I was okay with her calling her stepmom, mom. She said since she will have a half-sibling soon, this will make the half-sibling not confused and part of the family. I told her that no, I am not okay with that woman being called mom. But she could call her that if she wanted to. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean she doesn't have to do it. I won't be mad at her if she calls her mom. The other kids started getting mad at her, but I shut them down. My mill called me screaming saying I'm alienating the stepmom, and I should have told 16 female that I'm okay with it. I have an honest policy with my kids. I am always open and honest with them. Just because I do not personally like something they do, doesn't mean I don't let them do it. For example, 17 male has a lot of piercings I personally do not like. but that doesn't mean I forbid him from having them. Edit. I just went up to my daughter's room. I gently asked her why she gave Mill my number. She said because, Grandma asked her. I asked if it was her idea to call stepmom, Mom. She said yes. I told her she is more than allowed to call her mom, it doesn't matter how I feel about it. I also told her that I went NC with her grandmother for a reason and she isn't allowed to give my number out to people I don't talk to. She apologized. Also to the people asking about the stepmom. She was my best friend for 15 years and the kids considered her an aunt. When the affair happened, the oldest kid stopped talking to her, but the youngest was very attached to her still. Maybe that's why she feels comfortable with calling her mom. Either way, it's her choice. Edit 2. Wow. Thank you so much for the support. I just got back to my PC and wow. I would like to address a few things. To those of you accusing me of blaming the stepmom and not my husband for the affair. I blame both. I got betrayed by two people. One a husband and one a sister. A betrayal from a sister hits just as hard as a betrayal from a husband. And secondly, some of you have been commenting on why my daughter is so attached to the stepmom. My youngest is a very loving person. Her stepmom has been in her life since she was 1 year old. Back then she was auntie. After the affair all my other children turned away from her, but it wasn't so easy for my youngest. She still cares for her. My boundary is still in place. I'm NC with the ex-Mill, and ex-best friend. I will be logging off now. Have a great day. Not the asshole. At 16, the kid should be able to understand why you would not be okay with that. Besides, I don't see how the half-sibling would be confused if everything is explained to them like in any other blended family. Sounds like someone whispered in your kid's ear about the calling the mistress mum thing, because I don't think a 16-year-old would think about it on their own. Not the asshole. You handled that very maturely and reasonably. Your ex-Mill is just an asshole and don't listen to her. I think that you are being graceful in the face of great pain and sacrifice. You sound like an excellent mother. I'm sorry you're going through this. Can I call her mom? And, are you okay with me calling her mom? Are two very different questions. The first one, the answer can be controversial. If you had say, no, then she could have argued with you. You said, yes, no arguing there. The second one? She is asking you about a feeling. You can't control a feeling. She can't be mad because you feel things. What makes a difference between a good and a bad person is not the feeling they have, but what they do with the feeling. You are not a bad person for having a feeling. And you are definitely a good person for having a bad feeling, but choosing to handle it the hard way. Not the asshole. Edit. Typo. Of course not the asshole. The kids are old enough to understand your feelings as well. What instigated your 16 female to ask? Besides having the half-sibling soon? She said since she will have a half-sibling soon, this will make the half-sibling not confused and part of the family. The youngest is 16. I highly doubt she'll still be living at home when the new half-sibling is even old enough to notice something like that. It's irrelevant and a weird excuse. Not the asshole. I am concerned that 16 female went straight to your Mill and told her the whole story and gave Mill your number so Mill could call and scream at you. I thought your answer to 16 female was very fair and kind, while being truthful. It appears 16 female is angry at you about something. Not the asshole, not at all. I very much doubt this was your daughter's idea. And stop talking to your ex-Mill, she's the worst. Not the asshole. You have a very precious and invaluable communication line with your low. Being able to be honest with each other. Your child asking your thoughts on a sensitive matter and you offering your perspective yet encouraging her to make a choice that feels right for her, makes you not the a-hole here. Consequently, perhaps that same approach would be valuable in asking her why she gave your meddling vile Mill your phone number. That vicious woman has no place in your life, and that's some audacity she has to be abusive to you about the agency you encourage in your household. Am I the asshole for refusing to return the $600 gift I bought for Mom for Christmas? To start, I want to mention that unlike my wife, I have a very good relationship with Mom. And because my siblings can always afford pricey gifts for Mom this year, I decided to gift her something nice and expensive for once on Christmas, though I'm currently unemployed, but I work for the past few months and my wife and I have a joint account. The problem began when my wife found out I purchased a $600 necklace for my mom to gift her on Christmas using our joint account. She went off on me saying I should have told her and shouldn't have taken money from our joint account that she uses to pay the bills and rent, especially now that we're struggling. I asked why should I tell her since it's for us both, but she reminded me that despite that being true, 1. I no longer work and 2. $600 is a lot and I should have consulted her, but the reasons I didn't are, 1. I feel that it's my money too and I can make purchases using our joint account, and 2. I know if I told my wife she'd refuse to let me buy the gift solely because she hates my mom. She yelled at me saying that is her hard-earned money I threw away and needed to return the necklace, but I refused because mom already knows about it. She responded that this is no longer our joint account since I no longer earn money, and that if I wanted to gift mom expensive items then needed to earn money. She insisted I return it, but I said no, and it escalated to me calling her bitter and control after she pointed out I never got her anything in this price range. She's insisting I return it and at least get a cheaper one, but I'm done being the one with the least expensive, valuable gifts to gift in the family. She is making this her hill to die on. AITA? You are the asshole. Money shared is exactly that, shared. You're in a partnership, you can't just spend the shared money willy-nilly. And she has every right to be upset if you're using the money you both share to buy extravagant gifts for other people without talking it through first. My rule of thumb is always, if it's more than $100, discuss it. See, shared finances is not a ask for forgiveness not permission situation. You are the asshole. It is absolutely unreasonable for someone in your financial situation, having no income, to be making unnecessary $600 purchases from your joint account without agreement from your wife. No parent wants their unemployed adult son buying them a $600 necklace for Christmas. You are the asshole. You used a significant amount of family money without consulting your family to buy a gift you can't easily afford in a sad attempt to keep up with your siblings. I don't blame your wife for not trusting you with a joint account anymore. Your judgment is awful. You are the asshole. $600 is a lot to pull out of a joint account without discussing it, especially since you're not working. How can you not see that you are the asshole? 1. If you purchase something from a joint account, it has to be a joint decision. Especially if it's that expensive. 2. You don't spend money on gifts you can't afford, and your post makes me think you can't afford any gifts right now. You are the asshole. Doesn't matter if she hates your mom, you should have talked to her first. Keeping it short, 100% you are the asshole. You are the asshole. Your reason for purchasing the necklace for your mom is rooted in selfishness for 1. 2. Any large purchases should always be consulted with your partner out of a joint account, especially if there is only one income. Plus, it's just common courtesy. You're basically saying how you look to your family is more important than how your wife feels or whether your family struggles. Have you bought the kids gifts yet? What about your wife's gift? Seems to me the only person important to this scenario is you. Am I the asshole for telling my nephew it's not his birthday? My daughter's 7th birthday was yesterday. We went by my mom's, her grandma yesterday for dinner, cake, gifts. My brother and my nephews were there too. Daughter gets along well with her cousins. My mom has this birthday crown that she has the kids wear when it's their birthday. One of my nephews, 5, asked my daughter if he could wear the crown for a little bit. She agreed. Then when we were doing cake, he asked to help her blow out candles. She said sure. I kinda looked at my brother hoping he'd say something to his son, but he didn't. Then when we were giving my daughter her gifts, my nephew, who still had the crown on, asked my daughter if he could help her open her presents. I stepped in and said, "No, it's her birthday, not yours, let her open her gifts by herself." My nephew seemed kinda pouty. Thing about my daughter is she's too nice sometimes and has a hard time if she thinks saying no will hurt feelings. This seemed like one of those times. Later my brother said, nephew was just having fun, it wasn't that big of a deal. They, brother and his wife, let him open their gifts on their birthdays. He knows they're not his gifts to keep. I said, yay, but that's you, an adult. She's a kid and should get to celebrate her own birthday without sharing it. My brother said I'm teaching my daughter to be mean. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. He is teaching his son that he always has to get his way and be the center of attention. 5 is plenty old enough to realize that other people matter and not every day is about them. Not the asshole. You're teaching your daughter it's okay to say no and have boundaries, and nephew needs to learn how to hear no and respect boundaries. Not the asshole. If it wasn't that big of a deal, then they shouldn't be offended that the boy didn't get to help open someone else's gift. I think it's also good for your daughter to see this too. It's nice to share, and usually easy to do so, but it's also okay to not want to share everything, and it's completely healthy to learn to say no, or not this time, and hopefully there's enough mutual respect for it not to turn into something dramatic. Not the asshole. He's teaching his son to be an entitled brat at birthday parties, and if this is an all-around thing, an entitled brat all around. Boundaries are only mean to the people who intend to ignore, break, run over them. Not the asshole. They are teaching their son to be a spoiled brat. Not the asshole. You didn't teach your daughter to be mean. If anything, you taught her it's okay to say no every now and then, an incredibly important lesson, especially for young girls. But frankly, I doubt either of them will remember this at all. 5-year-olds test boundaries, and will protest whenever they reach one, regardless of how reasonable it is. Not the asshole, and I hate parents that let kids do that at parties. Let the birthday child have her spot. Not the asshole, but I would have stopped that at the first overreach when nephew asked to wear the crown. Something like, the crown is just for the birthday kid, silly. You'll get to wear it on your special day. With a warning look to your brother.